Yeah, let's talk about the bigger picture. Let's talk about how we be ballin', playing with the Wizards. Let's talk about the Nats and how they always got good pitchers. Let's talk about the cats on rest can turn them boys to winners. Injuries and updates, oh yeah. To the opponent, we stand toe to toe, yeah. To the top, this podcast gonna go, yeah. I think it's something you should know, yeah.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-host. We got Trevor.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone in the Final Four except Duke, Kansas, and Villanova.
He's not missed a day yet with that joke. And we have the Stoner.
What's up?
Of course, we are sponsored by Pacers Running. For every run, they've got you taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stoner said he was going to do a whole bit for this.
I know. But I was waiting for you to do your whole thing.
Nathan just threw you the oop, and you just were like,
I set it up. Did we start that over again?
That was a bad pass, but I caught
that.
It.
Was not a bad pass. That was very deliberate. Paused, ended.
He laid it right there for you.
Was that a?
I practically scored the bucket. I practically scored the bucket for you.
Was that an Ish Smith pass?
Yeah, or was it a Luka Doncic pass?
It was a Ish
Chris
Smith
Paul?
pass.
Yeah,
that was successful. That was successful.
All right, I botched it.
Yeah.
So I think Pacers Running has been a sponsor for 6 months maybe or something, right?
I think around October.
And we got these shoes from them. Let me tell you, Pacers Running shoes, and I got these New Balance. Look at them.
The newbies.
They're like dirty, but they're in tremendous shape. And I've been walking the crap out of these shoes.
All right.
And they are, and I'm not just saying this because they're a sponsor. These shoes are the most comfortable walking/running shoes I've ever owned in my life. I love these shoes, and I'm gonna get another pair like ASAP from Pacers Running because these are incredible.
I think what's important there is the way you got those, right? You actually sat down and you talked with a person virtually. Okay. So you don't even have to go into the store. They can virtually hook you up with the right pair of shoes that's comfortable and best for your needs. So if you're an old man like Stoner and going to do a lot of walking, get those New Balances and hit the road. So I think that's a great thing there.
I did like today 8.6 something miles today walking in the morning. And I'm telling you, these seriously amazing.
You're probably going to need a new pair of shoes. You've been wearing them out since
That's
October.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but they're still just solid, just excellent shoes. I just want to say that Pacers Running has been very good to us as a sponsor, and their stuff, their shoes, their goods that they sell are actually top quality stuff. So I'm super, super happy with it. Just wanted to throw that in there.
They'll get you there in the right pair of shoes. And if you go to Sky Bar in Lexington or other sponsor, they'll hook you up with the right food and the right drinks. Isn't that right, Trev?
That's exactly right. You even have a chance of getting a cocktail named after you.
Ooh.
Depending on, anything. So I'm not saying everybody comes there and says, make me a drink. I name it after you, but there's a chance.
Who's gotten a cocktail named after them so far?
So I hosted a birthday party for a 21-year-old undergrad student here at Washington University, and she liked vodka. She said, make me something sweet for the birthday party. So I made her something. I call it the Lauren Murray. That's her name. We got her a few weeks ago. Alumni.
But if it's her 21st birthday, how would she know what
if she liked vodka?
She should never have had it before because
she's a college student. She's a college student. Yeah.
Okay, I just thought everybody was like me.
Calling out Lauren now.
I thought everyone was a nun until they get to 21. But okay.
And then I had a law school alumni from here as well come in a few weeks ago, and he liked spicy margaritas, but I added a little twist to it. And he liked the twist I added to it. Can't tell you what it is because it's for him only, I guess, or after him. Right. Not him only, but it's called the Calvin Awkward. His name is Calvin Awkward. So
his name is Calvin Awkward?
Yeah.
Like his last name is Awkward, or that's like his nickname.
No, it's his name.
Who I've never heard of anybody having a name.
There you go. Names are something.
Yeah.
Now,
So
Trev, I need to know. what's the ref the district special?
Well, see, we have to conference and have a team meeting about each of our favorite spirits we like to drink, and then we can create the cocktail as a collective. Yes.
All right. Well, we're all going to make it down to Lexington there for the Sky Bar. Get a drink named after you right there in the Sky Bar. Those are our sponsorship messages. We stream live every Wednesday at 7:30 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then we push this out onto audio platforms so you can get it. In fact, there is something here that Trev's got more for us.
What are you drinking, Trev?
That Fresca.
My Fresca. You couldn't be a Ref the District podcast if I didn't have a Fresca in hand. So
what? Why are you so addicted to Fresca? I don't understand. I don't know that I've ever had
taste. It's grapefruit citrus sparkling soda water. It's refreshing. It's healthy-ish. I know it's still in the can, probably has whatever in it, but it's healthy-ish. Yeah. Makes you feel healthy-ish. Great taste. You can mix it with any kind of alcohol, especially rum or vodka, if that's what you want to do. Yeah. But by itself, it's great. It's just refreshing. It's old school. I just feel great drinking it.
Yeah, because you always have one. So I'm always wondering why.
And they're so very hard to find in my town of Lexington. Sometimes Walmart has it. Sometimes Kroger has it. Sometimes Walmart has the 24-ounce bottles. Sometimes Kroger has the small 16-ounce cans. It's just crazy. It's just a mystery. It's always slim pickings. You never know what you're going to get. But
so do you buy them out when you are,
no, I don't buy them out, but I get at least
he shares the love.
Yeah, at least 2 cases.
Fresca better get with us and make sure this man always has some Fresca on him. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We want to give a shout out. P-Dub is in the house. Commander West and Marcus also in the chat already. We've got a great show for you today. So we're going to be talking in the cool down about the stadium situation. Buffalo got hooked up. Will Washington get hooked up? That's going to be coming in the cool down. The game is going to be free agency. Are they done? Are the Commanders done? They really haven't made any moves. They have done a lot of re-signing of their own guys. Are we going to expect anything else during this period before the draft? We'll see. That's going to be coming up in the game. In warm-up, it is the owners' meeting. We've already made a change to free agency, and Goodell has come out and said Dan Snyder is not taking part in the day-to-day. Do you believe that? That's all coming up here in the warm-up. Join us in the chat. Let us know what you have. We have Steve in the chat as well from Washington Football Addicts. Check their channel out. They do create good content. I think they've been on pause for some time, but I know Steve mentioned to us that they'll be coming back. So,
hey, don't forget, I'm going
to forward to that.
Bum rush you again. Don't forget in the chat, we do have that super chat set up. So if you're feeling some love and you want to throw a little bit our way in the YouTube chat there, you can hit that super chat and donate a little bit towards our cause so that we can continue to bring you great content. Feel free. We wouldn't hate you for it. And for sure, we're
Ben as well. We'll mention it. We'll mention the super chat a couple times we'll hit it up when we go to the game. We're not trying to pressure people into supporting the channel, but we do love all the support. Even the comments that just come through are amazing. Even when they call us a bunch of yahoos,
or worse.
Trev, you've definitely gotten a lot. You've been attacked quite a bit.
It's all love.
Stoner's gotten his fair share of hate, and I think somebody once called me out. I don't know. Not too many people like to call me out on the show here. So,
but Nathan can say the exact same thing that I just said, and then they'll call out Stoner and nothing for Nathan.
Trev and I agreed on Deshaun Watson, and he received all the hate. Not one person called me out, even though I said, "I'm with you, Trev."
Yeah. Literally.
What's up with that? That's just
I don't know.
That's kind of weird how that works.
I think people go straight to the comments once they hear the take. And so they just Trev says his comment first. They just latch on to that. And by the time they get to me agreeing with them, they've already let out their hate. So it's all good.
Backspace
it's all
when
good.
Nathan talks. Let me backspace a little bit. I like what he's saying.
Yeah, that's kind of
let's talk about a guy everybody hates, and I'm not talking about Chris. I'm talking about Dan Snyder. Goodell has come out, and he of course was asked some questions during his time at the podium about Dan Snyder, and he says Dan Snyder's not involved in the day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
Do you buy that, Stoner?
No, of course not. I mean, Great article by Matthew Paris today. If you get a chance to check it out, he put it out there, and it's very obvious that Dan is involved in the day-to-day operations. Maybe it's not as much as he used to, but in that article, he talks about Dan. Well, he has a source that says Dan was in on the Carson Wentz decision. That alone, that one tiny piece that is huge for the overall franchise, the organization's survival and their future, just being in on that decision obviously means you're in on the day-to-day operations. And even if that's the only time you've ever been in for a decision, that's such a huge decision to make. And if he's involved, then obviously he's not on the outside looking in. And we talked about it when it first happened, right? There's no way that he goes home at night and Tanya was there in the day-to-day and they don't talk about it. Of course they do. Of course they do. It's a bunch of crap. It's just for the sake of people perception, and it's not true. We all know that, right? I mean, you guys have to agree with me on that.
He was there for the name announcement. He was there for other events. So it'd be really hard to believe that he's not involved quite heavily with the franchise. But Trev, what do you think?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it real on this one. I am. He might obviously still be involved day to day, but maybe, like you said, not as much. But the Carson Wentz, I think he kind of had to be on that because no matter how crappy of a person he is the owner of the team. Mm-hmm. And if you are trying to get your franchise quarterback in there, Ron Rivera, like he said in his interview, it was nice talking to the Snyders about this move. And their quote is supposedly, I'm paraphrasing, well, if that's what it takes to go all in to do it, let's do it. So, of course, he's going to be in on that because like I just said, but day-to-day, you never know. He probably is, but we just can't tell because he's not in the public day-to-day stuff that we see. Yeah, like he wasn't like there for the that aspect. You know, but day-to-day, he's definitely – I do. I mean, maybe. I mean –
I think there every time be like a board meeting stoner, I think that he's sitting on the outside of the table. Like he's not
definitely via
at the
Zoom
table.
Too.
He's in the room, but he's not at the table.
Or via Zoom. But I just
I personally love hearing that he's involved with the QB decisions because that's worked out in the past, right? That's not ever.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
hitting him in the rear with him being involved.
If in order for Ron to get paid, you kind of have to let your owner know something.
But that's the point. He's not supposed to be making those decisions.
He also wasn't suspended.
He didn't make it. And he didn't make it. Ron made it, but he ran it by Dan, and all quote unquote Dan and them said was, well, if that's what it takes, then you do what you got to do. He didn't say, I approve of this decision. Let's go do it. He just said, if that's what it takes. As in, like, if this is what you want to do it. That's pretty much just.
Along these same lines here, I want to get to Scott's question here because I think it goes along with this. All right. So Scott asks us, do you think most fans have the grass is greener on the other side when it comes to Dan? What if we get an owner who doesn't invest in free agency or willing to extend good players? Scott, I don't know. I don't know how. If the grass really is greener on the other side, but I don't imagine it can get much worse than Dan Snyder because, yes, he has spent and invested in free agency, and the team still didn't win.
Right.
You know, he went after big name players, and the team didn't win. Now you're seeing this period here where, as we'll talk in free agency during the game, where they're not really making a lot of moves. We're going to see how that turns out. In fact, the last couple seasons, last season we did talk about them making a little bit of an aggressive take, but not the big names anymore. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a grass is greener thing with Dan? Do you think that fans just want him gone because they haven't won?
We want him gone because nobody wants to come here. I don't know if people forget this or not, but it's not like we went out and sought Carson Wentz out of free agency and offered him a contract. He only came here because they were willing to get rid of his butt. And they found somebody to do that with, and it just happened to be us. So it's not like we were just like, Carson Wentz. It was like, oh, he's available for trade. well, we can't get Aaron Rodgers. We can't get Russell Wilson. We're not getting Deshaun Watson. We're not going to go as far down as Marcus Mariota just yet. Let's see what we can get, and so then they studied Carson Wentz. That became their target. So, yeah.
I think the people in charge of football decisions made that decision.
Yes,
and
I think they've made all decisions.
So
I think
they ran it by Dan. But that's the point, though, right? But then Dan's not suspended, but he's not supposed to be involved in day-to-day decisions.
But he pays Ron Rivera. You got to tell him. It's horrible. It's the harsh reality. He pays you.
Yeah, I get
he
that.
He hired you.
I get that. I get that, but he is not supposed to be involved in those. That's kind of what
I'm not supposed to be drinking. People aren't supposed to be drinking every day, but they do.
Right.
So I'm with you, Stoner, but it is a problem. It's favoritism. You can tell.
Shout out to Steve and the Washington Football Addicts, our first super chat contributor. Much appreciated, much loved from you. Congrats on 1K, fellas. Steve. Dan is co-managing with Tanya, like Michael Scott and Jim Halpert. He will never let it go.
Shout out to the Office one.
Yeah, Office reference there. Shout out to Kurt as well. Kurt says they tell his wife and she tells him. We've said that, right? There's pillow talk. It's not sexy, but
she got him on the phone. She's dialing and put him in a pocket right here in a shirt and just sitting there like this.
Yeah, I have a problem with that because he's not supposed to be doing that.
But he wasn't officially suspended, right? Okay. This was his own decision, and the fine wasn't,
Roger Goodell.
It wasn't a fine. It was okay. Like they put some really weirding to it,
right? So why do they ask Roger Goodell about it? Why does Roger Goodell have any say in it then? If this was Dan's decision, and Roger Goodell has to say we're going to talk about it later, but as of now. For the foreseeable future, he's not going to be. Well, if he's not suspended, then why do you have anything to do with it? So, of course, let's just say what it is. He is suspended, and he's not supposed to be involved with the operations of this team. And you can parse words by saying day-to-day, whatever. You make any decisions, he's not supposed to be doing that.
This is where the words actually matter in a sentence. Like you have to say he's suspended instead of supposed to be, because the supposed to be is clearly not working. Clearly
not using the word suspension is it means
give
there's
more
no
leeway than deserved,
right?
Yeah.
But the NFL literally had no teeth on this. They were like, Dan, you need to step back and not be a part of it. And he did.
You need to sell the team.
They didn't actually suspend him. Sell the team would be a dream scenario for a lot of fans.
I mean, Ron Rivera said it himself.
Happen.
We're an easy target. And now Ron is pissed off and he's tired of hearing about it. And he said the only thing that could cure it is winning. But also, nobody wants to come here to help us win because of Dan Snyder.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm sorry. I hate when people say that. That's not true. Now, can you not get the best of the best?
Bruh.
Can you not get Aaron Rodgers? Okay.
I don't care about that.
Nobody else could either.
We don't get anybody that's B tier outside of Carson Wentz this year. Who did we get?
They didn't used to.
This year. That's this offseason. Look,
Merle's got a great point here. Dan was involved in a lot of the free agencies.
We're talking about this season. That's what matters. I don't care about last year. Okay, William Jackson was a bust. Let's be honest. Curtis Samuel was a bust. Let's be honest.
But they wanted to come here
because of Ron Rivera.
Okay, they wanted to come here.
But
that's
that was
not fair.
3 out of all the other ones.
It's not fair to say that guys don't want to come here. This year, they couldn't get certain guys that they wanted to get. Okay, but last year they wanted to get the number 1 corner available in free agent. He wanted to come here.
He came here.
They wanted to get one of the top 3 receivers.
Why did he come here?
For money.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying.
William Jackson also was coming here to be, he even talked about it in his presser. William Jackson came here because he thought that defensive line was going to help him look even better.
Well,
right. And then Kurt Samuel's coming here because of course money doesn't hurt. And one of these things that we're talking about with Dan is like when he's involved, Dan wines and dines. He's a player's owner. Like he's a fan, right? It's Dan the fan Snyder. He No, but he
goes
more
over
than most owners is a fan, right? He idolizes these players. And that's why when he took over that you saw a lot of these Pro Bowl signings and people who had the big names, because he was just like, oh, like this is the big name. And he was willing to throw just straight cash money, homie, on it. And now that he's removed, maybe the money, and smart, intelligent people are in here. You're not seeing $100 million contracts for Albert Hainsworth and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily think that people aren't coming here because of Dan
a little
Snyder.
bit.
It's not
the only reason.
It's the franchise itself hasn't been good for years, right? So you do need to pay them more to come here. But I don't think they've overpaid anybody realistically in the last couple seasons.
It's also part of it, though. Let's just be realistic. It is part of it. Why would you want to play for an owner who doesn't get held accountable for anything he does, good or bad?
Care. Players don't.
Some players do, bro. Like not every player is a jock and like the whatever, but people have families. What if these people's wives don't want them playing for this owner because of what he's done? They have kids. What if they don't like? I mean, there are factors outside that we just don't, that aren't made public, that we can't just disclude. Like that is a thing. These are human beings. It happens. I mean, I'm just saying. So
if I'll give you a scenario which is completely made up, but whatever, just go with it. So if Bobby Wagner is getting offers from a bunch of different guys for 11 million, and Washington steps up
1 year for
and
11
says,
million.
we'll give you 13 million. Do you think he goes to his wife and says, is it okay if we go and play for
I don't
Dan
know who
Snyder?
he is as a person, bro.
They don't care.
That's easy to say when you don't know who the hell
easy to
Bobby
say.
Wagner is as a person. You don't know that.
I know, but I don't think that they care who signs their checks. I really don't. They care about the checks.
I think the difference for $2 million in that regard, that's not high enough to sway somebody to go to a better situation, right? If you say, no, if you're saying this person, if Bobby Wagner gets multiple, and we're kind of dipping into the free agency talk.
Yeah, I can't
so we're going to move over to the game here in a little bit. And I'm going to bring up some of those comments that Merle has in our chat right now. But as far as this Bobby Wagner situation, hypothetical that you put here, if you're telling me Bobby Wagner is offered contracts from Kansas City at 11 and Washington at 13, that he's not taking Kansas City at 11, you are insane.
Why would he do that?
$2 million
that has nothing to do with the owner.
Isn't enough.
It kind of does.
I'm with you, Stoner. I don't think it's the owner that's the problem.
I don't think so.
It's the franchise as a whole, where people see the franchise. And this is one of the questions we asked last season to all of our guests that came on, was how do they view Washington from the outside? And we wanted to know. We see
who is responsible for the franchise?
And most of them saw some of the craziness.
Who's responsible for the way this franchise has performed in the last how many years? Who's responsible? It starts from where? You both have said this. Where the hell does it start from?
It starts from the top.
And who's at the top?
Let's
go to the damn game. I rest my case. Let's go to the game. Let's go to the game. Rest my case. That's all I have to say.
We didn't even get to the overtime rules. Maybe we'll get to that with the stadium talk and the cool down. Yeah. But we are going to go ahead and transition the game. Stick with us. The game is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running. My man's got a shoe back up there.
My man is
from that
more
fitting.
hyped today than he was when he got the daggone things.
They're awesome. They're just amazing shoes. I don't tell you.
I've been running on mine, and they feel great. Yeah, they're pretty good shoes. Definitely want to check out Pacers Running if you're in the market for new shoes. They'll ship to you. Again, you can just do a virtual fitting online, or you can go into one of their 6 stores in person, Northern Virginia or the DC area. It's free agency talk, guys, though. And we put up a thumbnail and a promo graphic for this. And I asked if, without looking it up, if you can name all of these guys here. I have it actually, because I did have to two of the guys were buried underneath. That's how difficult putting this graphic together was for me. As I lost a couple people in the shuffle here.
Oops.
So we're going to take off our branding.
Yeah, there you
go. So
I mean, some of them are like you can kind of name guys because you know who to look for, right? Because you know who signings are.
This is all the. I realize for our audio listeners, you probably haven't seen this, but this is the 23 members that Washington has either re-signed onto the team or acquired. And let's go through them here. The guy wearing 61 here,
John Todd.
John Todd. All right.
That's the model guy.
That's the model. You can kind of come on. He's like glistening and everything. You can tell that's the model. Standing next to him.
No clue.
Oh, that's Daniel Weiss.
That is Daniel Weiss. Trev is 2 for 2. Of course, this is the biggest probably name outside of the QB that came here. So who's this?
Norwell. What's his name?
Norwell. Yeah. Whatever.
All right. Let's go to the bottom and name some of these guys.
That's
here.
not fair.
That one I didn't know who that one was.
That right here is Corn Elder. There are some of these players who the only picture I can find was
he's a Carolina guy.
What was on? He had a lot of Carolina pictures, but for the ones that were in burgundy and gold, the only way I can find them was just their roster pick. So another roster guy here. Who is this one?
Wait, where are you at? Point? Oh, right there.
Right here.
Who is that?
I have no idea.
Ratimi.
Okay.
Ratimi.
Yeah.
Shoot,
All right. In between them, who do you think?
Lucas?
Yeah, it's Lucas for sure.
Okay. All right. Of course, everyone should know this one.
They really kept David Mayo?
51.
Is that confirmed?
I think he was like the first one.
He was one of the ones re-signed. Yeah.
One of the first.
All right. We know this one, right? You got this
Apke
season. Obviously, it's Troy Apke. How about 59 here?
That's Jordan Kuzniak or whatever. We kept him too.
We haven't even figured.
KK. Yep. Jordan K signed up. How about the bearded fellow here?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Wait, give me a second.
I couldn't tell that one.
Is that Cam Sims? I have no idea who that is.
Who is that?
Bo is his first name. I don't know why I didn't write down his
Bo
last name.
Schweitzel or something.
Yeah, Bo with a funny last name.
Simonines or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, this one. This is
that's
a meme.
Milo.
That's
Milo.
That's a meme. You can hear it, right? You can just hear the Sunday night countdown. 69.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Tyler Larsen.
That's Larsen. Perfect. Yep. Okay. How about this gentleman over here to the right?
Bobby McCain. You want to know something I found interesting? As soon as the season ended, he on Instagram he had like just the standard like egg picture of his profile, and then when he got re-signed, he put another picture back up of something different. I thought that was interesting.
What do you mean something different?
Like I think it was at first it was like him in the Washington uniform. He took it down like during free agency, and then when he got re-signed, he put up like another one. I think of either him or something. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I was kind of worried. I was like, we might not re-sign him, but we did.
You're good at these, Trev.
He's doing really well. I mean, he's only missed a couple here. How about to the left of?
I can't see your number. Is it 12?
That's Tony Brown.
No.
Number
32.
Oh, 32?
Danny Johnson.
Johnson. Of course, everybody is really happy that this guy spurned Buffalo.
I'm going to talk about that one. We'll talk about it.
JD McKissic there.
Yep. And then you got
Cam Sims, of course.
Carson.
Wentz is the big name.
Yep.
Okay, and the big guy in the Buffalo.
Odabo, whatever. Edifu,
Odabo. Guy. Yeah.
Carolina guy.
Okay. I bet you don't get 16. Obata. I know that one.
Brian Johnson. That's the kicker.
It is Brian Johnson. They have two kickers in here. The other kicker is right there. And of course, Joey the Leg Sly.
So they
who's
did
64.
Sign Joey Sly?
Yep. He's actually signed and they tendered Brian Johnson. So we'll have two kickers going to camp. 64 there in the middle.
No idea.
David Bada.
Power move.
David Bada.
Oh, okay.
That's Bada. And then, of course, the other power move right there.
Keith Ishmael, we re-signed him.
Yep. That is all of them.
Actually, I'm not going to lie. He did pretty well.
He did.
I'm pretty impressed with Trev's knowledge of all of those.
Oh, thanks. He was pretty serviceable. He was serviceable for when he got called upon to finish out
he was like a fourth or fifth center. He's not going to be great, but
good late later.
But what Trev is trying to say is like for the fact that he, this guy is like 4th or 5th on the depth chart, right?
Yeah.
He got re-signed for a reason.
He's going up. It's the 3rd game of the preseason, right? If some team leaves in their starters and you throw out Keith Ishmael, he might actually be able to hold his own for at least a few snaps, not every snap.
Bro. Come on, Stone.
Not every snap. So.
Find someone.
You know our team. We need these depth guys, bro. You know our team.
Oh yeah, I mean
DEA Ryan's gone. We still be dropping like flies. So like
DEA Ryan. Find somebody who loves you as much as Trev loves the bottom of the roster.
You know why? You wanna know why? Because we see it too damn often during the season for us not to care about it.
Yeah,
there were a lot of injuries, and Washington's had a lot of injuries over the years.
Trev always likes to say, "Hey, next man up, let's go." Well, that man sucks, so I don't want him anywhere.
I can't help if he sucks, but it's the next man up.
He's got to be at least an option before the other one. All right, let's talk. So those were all the names. So in case that was a great exercise, not great for our audio listeners, but at least it gave people all the names that Washington is currently signed in free agency. And now the question is that it? Are they done between now and the draft?
Well,
because I think after the draft, we'll probably see a few signings, but they need to know what they're going to get in the draft. Are they going to sign anybody before the draft to kind of shore up something so they maybe not, have a position of need that's currently there?
No, they're not going to sign anybody. I have my theory. I mean, they might sign another, Keith Ishmael type, bottom of the roster type guy just to fill out the roster. But my theory is that they have.
Is this conspiracy theory? Do I need the music?
Sure.
Do it.
A little bit. So they have about 10 million right now? I was just looking at it earlier. Depending on
about 10 million.
Who you look at, they've got 10.5 million about that, right? Come June 1st, Landon Collins' contract comes off the books. Mm-hmm. And it's about, between the dead cap and his number, it's about another 12 million. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's 22 million. Last year, if you remembered, around that time, that's when they gave extensions to Logan Thomas and Jonathan Allen. Was in training camp or right at the beginning of training camp, whatever, right? So this year, they're going to do the same thing, and they're waiting to free up that money to sign Terry McLaurin, to give him an extension that's going to be in that 18, 19, 20, $21 million a year range. And they have to wait for Landon Collins'
so the money
contract
to open up. Yep.
Is there. So they're not going to sign anybody else in free agency.
No big names.
Like it's no names. They're going to sign.
I agree with you, Stoner. Guys. No big names.
So that's
Trev, does that make you happy?
Nah, dog, so I got a theory of my damn self, Stoner.
All right. Put the music back up.
DJ hit the music. So I'm with you, Stoner. I do believe that they're waiting for Landon Collins' contract to get off the books so they could go ahead and take care of Terry McLaurin.
All right.
But
there's all your money.
But from now until then, I think we've got some guys on the squad that deserve a restructure or maybe even let go to free up some more money to add one more solid veteran piece from now until the draft. Bobby Wagner wants $11 million. You do what you got to do like you did for the quarterback, and you go get Bobby Wagner. You do that. Because I'm sorry. I know the reports are saying they're kind of banking on Cole Holcomb to step up. Cool. But I think you still need that veteran linebacker to come in and shore that up because, for one, we're injury prone.
That's why they have David Mayo.
Oh, I keep forgetting about him. Never mind. Theory's done. No, seriously. You restructure. Let some of these podunks go. Stop being so generous and putting all your marbles on potential and what they showed in training camp or where they came in and flashed here. No. Free up some money somehow before the draft. Go get that one veteran stud that's out there, whether it be a Tyrann Mathieu, Bobby Wagner, somebody that can fill that nickel role because, sorry, Khaliki Hudson, it ain't it. He ain't that guy. So that's my
Keith Ishmael is.
Yeah, because our O-line sucks. That's the unhealthiest part of our team. So free up the money from Landon Collins. Use that for Terry that way. But restructure somebody else right now from now to the draft to get one more veteran piece that Ron keeps saying that they're trying to get and they haven't added yet.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they haven't restructured some of
Kendall
Fuller, Chase
Curtis Samuel,
Roulier.
restructure him. Like Chase, restructure.
I don't know about
after the year last year.
I know, but I'm saying with some of those contracts, if they're in only their second year, then you're adding years, and if they suck,
Kendall would be nice. That's a good one.
But,
who else?
Kendall Fuller, Chase Roulier, they have big contracts.
Antonio Gibson, can you restructure his? Or is it still too early?
He's still a rookie. He's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah, he's way.
So like that's my theory. Just one more veteran that you keep talking about. Bring him on from now to the draft.
Gibson's cap hit is like 500,000.
Yeah,
because if you don't, because then what happens then?
They're not going to, Trev, and I'm going to tell you why they're not going to. That for whatever reason, I feel like here's my conspiracy. We each have our own theories. Now, most of mine is in line with Stoner. For whatever reason, I think they're really trying to protect the comp pick that they're going to get for Scherff leaving to the Jags.
Yeah.
So notice the guys they've signed, they don't count against that.
Right.
They're all pickups that have been cut or, had restructures. So they're not going to count against that third round comp pick that they're going to get in next year's draft. It's not going to be this one coming in April. For whatever reason, they're doing that. Now, one of the contracts, and I don't have the music going here, but here's another conspiracy theory. I've been pretty hot on this one, is they're not going to restructure Wentz's contract either, because they see this as either a 1-year rental for $28 million to see what he's got in the tank and whether or not he's the guy, or they can cut ties and maybe big tinfoil hat time. Maybe those two are connected because they can use that a third round pick or extra picks to move up in the draft and get the QB that they want in next year's draft if Wentz doesn't pan out. And still have a third round because they'll have that comp pick. I want him to, we've talked about that. We want him to pan out because he's our current QB, and we don't want to have to keep doing the shuffle here. Now, this team has been historically bad, and I'm going to bring up, because I said I was going to, some of these stats that Merle put up here. Martin Mayhew is 54-91 as a GM. Marty Herney is 107-133 as a GM. Ron Rivera doesn't have a great record here in Washington, and if you look at his time in Carolina, outside that 15-1 season, also was just kind of a mediocre coach there. Yeah. Is that part of the problem when it comes to free agencies and wanting to sign elsewhere?
Wait, what do you mean? Is that part of the problem in terms of guys coming here, or is that part of the problem that these guys aren't good at their job? Which side are you talking about?
How about you start with whichever one you want to talk about? Because I think both questions are worth asking.
Well, I'm a proponent of look at what they've done, and those records speak very loudly of well below 500 when they're in charge, and that's not great. So their track record shows that they're not good at what they do. So I have every reason to believe that that's going to continue. I don't want it to continue, but I have every reason to believe that that's going to continue. I mean, same with Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is not a great coach unless he has a
quarterback,
top of the line, number 1 overall MVP quarterback. And then once that starts to decline, then, I mean, that's probably the same for most people in the league. Unless you've got a great quarterback, you're not going to have a good record. But he's shown all these years that he can't develop a quarterback necessarily. He can't develop a Heineke. He can't develop a Haskins. He can't. Well, Alex Smith was Alex Smith, but so all these guys have a track record of not being great. So why do we expect them to all of a sudden turn into an 11-16 or something like that? I don't know how you do that.
I think it's called the Ashburn syndrome, and most of us all get it every time.
Yeah.
He's probably never had to develop a quarterback, like he said, Stoner, because he was gifted.
He lucked into Cam. Yeah.
And then he came here.
He even says as much, by the way.
He didn't know he would have to develop multiple quarterbacks in like the first 2 years of his new tenure.
Well, I disagree with that. Multiple quarterbacks, yes, but
Dwayne,
he came here knowing full well that he was going to have to try and develop Dwayne Haskins. That was part of him agreeing to take the job.
But then he didn't know he had to be developing Taylor Heineke. He didn't know he had to be throwing Garrett Gilbert in there for a game. He didn't know he'd have to develop Kyle Allen. He didn't know he had to develop Alex Smith a little bit. So I give that man a little bit of leeway because of that, because I don't care who the coach is. If you can develop quarterbacks like that, then you're the greatest coach of all time. But Bill Belichick can't even do that. He's showing that right now. He can't do it unless he has. Well, Mac Jones in the playoffs.
I was about to say
he had Tom Brady, but he had Tom Brady.
He had Tom Brady.
He didn't have to develop that. Mac Jones, but that's what I'm saying. Mac Jones was a good quarterback in college. Dwayne Haskins was a 50 touchdown thrower in Ohio State. That's all he really had in college. Mac Jones, at Alabama, he won a national championship. This and that. Dwayne really wasn't.
Dwayne was a good college QB.
Yeah,
but he wasn't necessarily transfer over to the pros as we've seen.
Think this is his last go around though. 7-9 the first year was awful, but we did win NFC East championship during COVID.
Right.
That's the only thing we have for that. But we were 7-9, and then this past year we were 7-10.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I saw that Merle comment: if Wentz does not pan out, Ron Rivera's gone. Scott Turner is definitely gone because he's even under more pressure than Ron, I think, because he's had to work with the quarterbacks more than Ron has.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to build around and play his offenses around these different types of quarterbacks within 2 years. So, but it's a business. Everybody's gone. Jack Del Rio will be gone too because Ron brought him on. No matter how good our defense is,
it'd be clean house. Probably even at the GM position.
Exactly. Everybody gone. So this is
the way that they set this up was Ron as the center of everything. So
Ron hired the GM.
Clean house.
Yeah,
that's
Ron
what I'm saying.
hired everybody.
The GMs go with Ron because Ron picked everybody, and if it's not working out after this one,
DC.
And you can't
this would be interesting.
You can't have the holdover coach drafting a rookie and trying to develop that rookie after three consecutive bad years. You have to just clean house, start with a coach and a GM who picked that rookie quarterback in the draft.
Well, and here's the same, what you guys are kind of talking about here. Ron doesn't develop QBs. He never has, and he never will. This is why he's going after the veteran QBs. This is why they have Carson Wentz, because I think he understands and knows that about himself as a coach. And maybe speaks a little bit to Scott Turner as well, that they're not in the game here to develop a QB. They need somebody who has the skill set needed because they can call a game plan. It might not have all. Obviously 14 and 19 isn't exactly a great record after 2 seasons, but there's been some games in there where you can see that they know what they're doing. You just need them to put it together for a full season. And you also just need them to maybe bring in somebody. Al Capone here, shout out to you.
Why not?
Wanting the Honey Badger.
Go in. That's what I'm saying. So maybe if we don't swing, we need a front office and a coach in there to match the aggressiveness that they preach, that they said that they do. Ron Rivera, is very aggressive, he's very this and that. But they don't show that in the offseason. These players who deserve it are getting the books thrown at them, because they want them, you know what I mean? We don't have that in the front office. I want somebody in the front office yo, that's the guy. Let's go give him that much, not Albert Hainsworth, but be aggressive. Don't just say, oh, we're trying to build and be sneaky and tactical and, be I guess we'll settle for Carson. No, go out and get your bro. Make the first offer that's crazy as hell. If they say no, whatever, but show that you have the fortitude that you're ready to.
But again, they did that last year, and maybe they got burned by it.
They did, but not really. Curtis Samuel is a name.
He was one of the top 3 wide receivers in free agency last year.
Okay, in free agent, but that's just by default. But you know what I mean? When it's a good class, that's when you should go all in, not just when you have you know what I'm trying to say? It's we focus.
Well, do you think on this, does this free agency period kind of seem, it seems different to me, but do you think
we waited too long?
I don't necessarily think that I waited too long.
I
think
Landon Collins. We treated
look
him
at
wrong.
the perception that they have coming into free agency, right? So last year, they were like, we're only the QB away. We're ready to win now. We showed that by, getting into the playoffs. And so they got a bit aggressive. And they also thought, they were thinking they could build off of that playoff win. This last year, they were kind of smacked in the mouth. And you hear that a little bit in Ron when it comes to, talking about the team. He kind of puts a little bit on the fans there. And then also on a little bit on the team. They set expectations too high. So you think that this free agency period is matching that kind of sentiment of like, we're trying to manage expectations now. They're not going all in this free agency. And the way that they kind of spent money last free agency, because they realize this isn't a team you can just go all in for.
Well,
they don't have the pieces.
I think they did go all in, by the way. Not in free agency, but they went all in with Carson Wentz.
They did. They got the piece that they needed there.
But see, that's why then they go back and ask Landon Collins, "Hey, sorry about that. We signed Carson Wentz. Can you take less money?" And he's like, "No. Our front office is messy. It's just messy." That's
but
messy.
I think any front office is like that. I think when you think about Cleveland, right, and Baker Mayfield, Baker, we just signed Deshaun Watson to $250 million guaranteed. Where do you want to go?
Well,
you know what I mean? That's messy.
That is messy, but Baker did that himself, bro. That's Baker.
I know, but I'm saying
a little bit.
These things, all of these things go into the way the front office handles it
is bad.
No, things change, and just like the whole deal with J.D. McKissic, with Landon Collins, with Scherff, with some of these guys.
Pick another organization. Cleveland doesn't win. Pick another one. Pick one that wins.
I hate to tell this to our fans. Well, yeah, the Patriots do it, but I hate to tell Trev and the rest of our fans, Washington is closer to the Cleveland Browns than they are to the Patriots, the Steelers. We hold on to the three Super Bowl champions. We know that this franchise can be good, but it's been a long time since they've been good.
Our front office
quarterback, and they'll change everything, and hopefully that's what they did.
True. I mean, even though as much as Cleveland is, they still had Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry.
Kevin agrees.
OBJ. They made moves. They brought names to them, and Baker Mayfield. Us, it's like we're just depending on role players.
But now they've done it, and it's not in free agency. But now they've done it. They've made the move. They've made the big move. We said, all right, we're tired of this. We can't do it with Taylor Heineke and Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins and Garrett Gilbert and Kyle Allen and Josh Johnson and Mark Sanchez.
There you go. There you go.
Do it with all those guys. We are going to get a veteran. We're not going to develop a young kid. We're going to go get a veteran, and we're going to give him a ton of money, and then we're going to surround him with talent, and this is it. This is how we're going to do it.
So treat your defense the same and go get you a Bobby Wagner and be the quarterback of the defense, because you already have the pieces around that for that. That's all you're missing.
Listen, I don't hate that idea.
Do it.
But I don't know.
If your job's on the line, Ron Rivera, Martin, all of you Martys, your job's on the line. This is your last year. You got to make a huge move. Because our draft is probably going to be crappy. Let's be honest, guys. Our draft is going to be crappy this year.
Right.
It really is.
They don't have a lot of picks.
Number 11. We're gonna fumble that pick away or pick somebody that we were like, what the hell?
A little bit of faith.
Bro, come on.
Well, if we're gonna get into this whole draft thing, our draft needs this year are exactly the same as last year.
Exactly.
That's how you know they're gonna
quarterback on defense. Stop depending on
let me ask you
in house.
Hypothetical,
I don't like that
Trev.
method. Stop.
Hypothetical, Trev.
Yes.
Would you do that? Would you sign Bobby Wagner if it meant that you can't give Terry McLaurin the extension?
No, but we already went over that because you still can, because Landon Collins' contract comes off, and we from now we could also cut somebody else all of it. Yeah, but right now, from now until then, you restructure somebody's money to a signing bonus. You let somebody let Corn Elder go. Get him the hell out of here. Like what the?
Well, Corn Elder's
like making $1 million.
I don't care. It's $1 million more than if we have 10 million and Bobby says he wants 11, that's one more million. Boom, there it is. Get rid of corn. Just do that and attempt it. If it doesn't work, okay, but just try.
I'm trying to find Corn Elder on here.
Go get your Bobby.
Well, there he is. He makes $915,000.
All right, that's 900.
He counts $20,000 against the cap.
Hey, that's fine.
Not exactly
that's 20,000 closer to what we have. Okay, well, loop him. You could re-sign Jordan and then be like, "Oh, sorry about that," and let him go because that happens in NFL. Let some of these bums go. Like
Derek Forrest costs $233,000 against the cap.
Get him gone too. Let him go.
If you cut him, his dead cap is $670,000. So that's not a good plan.
It's more money than what we have now to give him.
Yeah.
To Bobby. That's just my theory.
Let's get to this question from Kevin here. What is the big move this front office hasn't done that was within their reach? Shout out to Kevin for
a stud wide receiver and a linebacker. Seriously, that was in their reach. It was in their reach. Carson was what, 28 million? How much money did we start at the beginning of the year? Like 60-some million, 40-some, 50-some?
And then you started re-signing people and it started getting a little bit smaller.
There's wide receiver, linebacker, that box safety. Just saying, man.
Yeah.
We could have reached. We could have attempted. I'm not saying we didn't because everything's made public, but by the moves we made, it seems like we had no plans to get anybody big outside of the quarterback. No matter what Ron Rivera is saying at the NFL meetings.
Most of everything has been centered, the talk has been centered around going after these big QBs. You haven't seen them, they're, really in the market for anything else there. I've said this before, and I'm just making sure people are prepared. But it kind of goes in line with Kevin's other comment here about the best player available being a middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. Be prepared for Washington not to take an offensive skill person at 11.
Oh, they're not.
Be prepared. Just be prepared. It's going to be Sauce Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, someone along those.
I'm telling you right now, because
Toby Dean, somebody who's not on the offense is who's going to be.
Those receivers that everybody wants, they're not going to be there at 11. If they are, it's by some mess up.
Yeah, all three of them are going to be gone.
Garrett Wilson's gone. Drake London's gone. The Jets need a receiver to go with Zach Wilson. They don't have number one receiver.
All right.
Who else is up there?
There's one.
They also missed out on Jets missed out on
who's top 10? Who are the top 10
Tyreek Hill
right now?
Because they wanted to trade for Tyreek Hill and lost out for that.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
While he's doing that, I'm going to share Caleb's comment here because this is near and dear to mine, my family's heart. The tight end, I feel like Logan Thomas is too unreliable. I've been dragged. This is the take that I'm surprised not many people have dragged me over, but I had considered Logan Thomas decidedly mediocre.
Well, he's not when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, he's good.
That's a fair point that they said.
But he's also not elite.
Reliable.
He's also not an elite talent. He's a good tight end, but
there's a huge
people treat him as if he's like he's playing at the level of one of the top two tight ends, and he's not doing that.
There's maybe 3 top tight ends in the league. Everybody else is just a good tight end. Let's be honest.
I'm with Merle here. George Hamilton at 11.
Stop it, Merle.
Yeah, take him out. What?
Stop drafting defensive players in the first round.
Don't
stop it.
I want offensive firepower, but I'm sorry, Kyle Hamilton's there at 11. Right. I'm not hesitating.
Are you ready for this, Stoner?
Sure.
You tell me why those 3 receivers, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Drake London, maybe even Treylon Burks, maybe 3 out of those top Williams. 4. No, 3 out of those top 4 are going to go first round. First pick is the Jaguars.
First round, you're talking about top 10.
Top 10. Yeah, top 10.
Yeah, definitely not.
The Jaguars, they're going to take a tackle the first round.
No, they're going to take
Lions.
They're going to take Aiden Hutchinson.
First pick. You think so?
Yeah, they're going to take a defensive end pass
number
rusher.
1?
Yeah.
The Lions are number 2.
Lions are going to take Malik Willis.
All right. Number 3 are the Texans.
All right, who knows?
Whatever.
They need everything.
The Jets need a receiver. One could be gone right there.
The Texans will probably take a receiver.
The Giants have the 5th pick. They can get a receiver. Panthers.
They took a receiver in the first round last year.
The Giants have another pick in the first round. They have 2 first-round picks. They can get a receiver if they want to.
Yeah, they
to
might.
make Daniel
They're probably
Jones
shoring
better.
up both sides
The
of the line.
Falcons damn well need a receiver because they don't have nobody down there in Atlanta. The Broncos, you never know. Who knows? And then the Jets again at number 10. They probably need a receiver. So I'm telling you, they're going to be gone.
They already got a receiver.
Who?
You said they got him at like the 3rd pick or whatever. Garrett
Wilson's gone to the Giants. One out of 2 picks of the Giants
Jets.
is Garrett Wilson. 1 out of the 2 picks of the Giants, Garrett Wilson. One of the 2 picks in the first top 10 Jets, Olave. And then you got
I don't think so.
The Falcons, Drake London. Why not?
All right. I don't think they're doing that.
I do. Look at the tape. Look at the history. We love drafting
the
defense.
Falcons might take a QB. They might take Pickett.
The last time we drafted a receiver, it didn't work out for us. What was his name?
Josh Doxson.
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
let's not be
never
burned
worked.
by the past here. Let's not be burned by the past. This isn't. We had this conversation last year with Justin Fields. People didn't want Justin Fields because he's a QB from Ohio State. And that doesn't matter. You take him based off of the player here. The just because Washington hasn't been successful with a first round wide receiver ever doesn't mean you don't take one of the talented ones. And I would love it. Personally, what I would love more than anything is for Washington to fall back in the draft, get a couple more picks, and then still take somebody of quality. But again, I'm getting I'm running to with Kyle Hamilton if he's there. Sauce Gardner is another name that I'm happy to see at 11 that I wouldn't be upset if they take.
No, dog, we don't need him.
We're supposed to be talking
into the draft here. We're supposed to be talking free agency, but
free agency. Bobby Wagner, Tyrann Mathieu. Who else?
Those are just names. Those are just names.
Stop it! They're not just names.
They're just names.
Bobby Wagner is a Super Bowl champion. Tyrann Mathieu is a Super Bowl champion.
Let's not act like this isn't a team sport.
Name a person on our squad that can say they won a Super Bowl in the past 10 years. I'll wait.
Okay, but let's look
past
at
20 years, past 15 years.
Carson Wentz won a Super Bowl. Thank you very kindly. He has a Super Bowl ring.
Who does?
One. Carson Wentz. That's one. Out of how many years have we had?
Listen, I think that they should. If they can, that they should sign Bobby Wagner.
And there is a way, bro. Like you said, salary cap is just a number. You got all these bums on the squad.
You're right.
Get rid of them and go get your guy, your quarterback, to command the defense. Seriously, Jack Del Rio had that in Denver, and that's why he was successful. We don't have that here.
I think they should, but I don't think they will. That's my.
We're boring as hell. We're gonna build within the team and show that we really believe in these guys. Really? Yeah, cool. You sign them and you leave them on the sideline and don't play them the entire season. That was a
whose voice were you doing there? Who was that?
Ron Rivera.
Do it again. Is that how we signed?
Yeah, we're just gonna build around the team and just build within. I just can't. No, you need to spend money. Stop being a wuss and be aggressive. Swing for the fences, bruh. We got new uniforms. Get somebody in here as a stud to make us look good. Now you're going to put out David Mayo in the Commander's uniforms and be like, who the hell is this guy? You know what I mean?
You were able to name him.
Yeah, because he's been... But seriously, you need a quarterback on defense now. You don't have it. If you're depending on Cole Holcomb because he had to do it by default last year for a few games,
Ron said we've already got the guy on the roster.
And he's really
he said last year that a lot, right? He was just like, we have everything we need in this room.
In college, he is whiffing on all linebacker talk.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I mean, horrible.
Yeah, well, he was lucky
Cole's
again.
Good,
he had
but don't put him at the mic. You put Jamin and Will on the outside or Cole on the outside, and you bring in Bobby Wagner in the middle. Whew. I tell you what, bro.
Look, I don't hate it.
Not to talk too much on the draft again here, but I just want to point out that Trev is talking about all these defensive players Washington needs to bring in. but then you guys shy away from taking a defensive player with the 11th pick. I just don't.
I like that. Just not Sauce Gardner. We already got William.
We
just spent money on William Jackson.
You got a lot of money spent on the corners, and you still have St. Juice to develop as well. So
right, and I like St. Juice. I like Torrey McTyer too, coming back from ACL injury.
That's just you loving the Jags, man. That's just you.
No, but Nakobe Dean. If Nakobe Dean is there at 11, you absolutely take Nakobe Dean. You have to.
No,
I don't. I don't take. That's one name I do not
to the
take.
Draft again
because there's nobody left in free agency besides Bobby Wagner and Tyrann Mathieu. That's it.
And he loves these defensive names, but then it's just like, if this is what we need, why not take it? And I agree with the people in there. You take the best player available. You don't draft for needs. You just draft the talent, the people who are going to be difference makers, and you put them on the field. That's what you do.
Okay, I have a question just for that example, real quick. Malik Willis is there. Sauce Gardner is there, and Kenny Pickett is there. Who are you taking?
Who's
those are the three best players right there at 11. Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, and Sauce Gardner. Those are the three best right there. Who you taking?
Yeah. More than happy walking to the thing with Sauce.
You're not taking Malik Willis?
You don't take a QB.
No, Trev. Why?
I'm just saying. If Jalen Hurts can bench Carson Wentz, Malik Willis damn sure probably can.
Give him a chance. Give him.
You did.
Weapons.
You gave him $28 million.
Right. So why sabotage that by using draft capital on his replacement?
Bruh, because it's a business. If you draft him and we're 0-6 at the bye or whatever, it's Malik Willis's turn.
Oh, it's
or my bad. Yeah, you can bring in Taylor Heineke, and we can be 0-9 after that.
All right.
What the hell? Let's go get Garrett Gilbert from the Houston practice squad and bring him back for a reunion.
Well, then you'll get the
0-12.
Then you'll get the number one pick, and you'll get Bryce Young.
So then that comes to talks of tanking. Hell, we're 0-12. Might as well just keep on losing. We'll get Bryce Young, who hasn't proven anything. What has he proved? Without receivers, what has he proved? You tell me that right now.
What do you mean without receivers?
Jameson Williams went down. What did he do? What did he do?
Let's see. He won the Heisman Trophy.
He lost. Robert Griffin III won the Heisman Trophy. Don't bring the Heisman to this argument. I don't want to hear a damn thing about the Heisman. That does not translate to the NFL.
So
you know it doesn't.
He's
jobless. Reggie Bush, his award is taken away from his dumbass. Excuse me, I'm saying that, but don't bring the Heisman in here.
No, but I'm just saying.
What's in that Fresca, Trev?
Bryce Young was great last year.
Oh my God,
he was great.
One hit by
Bryce
Aaron
Young
Donald.
Isn't in the draft. He's not a free agent. Why are we talking about Bryce Young
right now? And we'll be going to find somebody to replace him because he's weak.
You know what? Next week's show's got to be focused on the draft because we can't get away from it.
Next week we're focused completely on the draft. I love Trev's exercise.
Come here now.
If these three people are available at 11, we'll have to put up a couple more like that. And a little sneak peek, we do have a new series starting. A little, or maybe not series is a little bit strong, but a new type of video. So we'll be doing some start bench cut. One's coming out tomorrow, so look forward to that.
That's gonna be spicy too.
Yeah, that should be pretty good. I'm gonna shut down the free agency talk because we're gonna get over to the cool down. Let's cool down with some stadium talk and whether or not you like those overtime rules. That's coming up here on the cool down. All right. Buffalo got the stadium they wanted, which is open air, by the way, not a dome, not a retractable roof.
I didn't understand that, but whatever.
I think you just had a lot of people. These guys slam themselves through tables.
I was going to say they play in 10-degree weather every year,
and they want the snow. And I love snow games, so I'm glad that there's still going to be the opportunity for that. But I think it's just absolutely dumb to spend that kind of money that they did, which is over $1 billion, on a stadium.
I agree.
And the only thing you're going to use for is football 10 times a year.
I'm telling you what, man. These stadiums are crazy. Like the Atlanta Hawks, you can get your hair cut in that stadium. There's a barbershop in there. So if they got $1 billion in Buffalo,
was you talking about the guy who got the haircut on the sideline?
No, legit. There's a legit barbershop at Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, and like a bar and cocktail tables and all that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to put in this Buffalo Stadium?
I don't know, but
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I think 1.4 billion is actually very. What's the right? It's not
modest.
a lot.
It's modest. It's a modest amount of money for a state of the art stadium.
Yeah.
In this economy, right? When you're talking about LA spending $5 to $6 billion, when you're talking about Vegas spending $4 billion, I think is $4 to $5 billion.
It's Buffalo.
The Virginia thing, like they're talking about going up to $3 billion.
Yeah, you have to, I think, to compete for.
It's part of every.
I mean, Buffalo, maybe that's a whole different animal. Like you said, it's up there in the Northeast. They're probably not going to get a Super Bowl, even if they have an indoor type stadium, because I mean, it's Buffalo. But who wants to go to Buffalo in January, right? I mean, it's one of the worst in the world. But
stop!
Whoa!
No. Thanks, Meta, for jumping in. I just checked this out. This is true. Got a comment live on air. Bruce Arians just retired. It is in fact true. He is retiring and moving into the front office.
Todd Bowles is taking over.
Wow.
Front office?
That's a big deal.
Whoa.
Do you think that's health related, or do you think that's him and Brady are just not? They're just not.
Nah,
I mean,
dog.
He is pummeled.
Why isn't
Brady
Byron Leftwich taking over? Why wouldn't Byron Leftwich take over?
That to me is pretty interesting. Bowles has head coaching experience, though. I think they were set to lose both of them.
Byron Leftwich coached Tom Brady. What more do you need?
Well, I mean, maybe they want Leftwich working with Brady full time.
You were probably going to lose one or both of them after this next year. So I think that's part of this move here is Arians is setting it up so that way.
Press conference tomorrow at 1:00. Your answers or questions get answered there.
I think it's health related. He's not. He's
older and he's not exactly the most healthy one.
Right.
All right,
didn't he have one of those shows, those kind of documentary behind the scenes type of deals, and he's just not a healthy person. Is that Kobe or is that not Cat?
That's crazy. 69 years old. He texted ESPN's Jeff Darlington, "It's time."
Wow.
That is insane. Thanks, probably because he's hitting players. Yeah,
that could be part of it there.
I like that, Caleb. I like that.
All right, thanks, Meta, for the jump in on that one. That one's pretty big. When we stream these live, sometimes we do miss some of those big things here. Let's get back to the stadium talk. Buffalo, their decisions, open stadium, it's crazy. Washington, the talk around the Commander Stadium has kind of cooled down as of late. Now Virginia's kind of getting a little uneasy about whether or not they really want to put all that kind of money into it. Maryland is planning on developing Landover regardless, but they're not really willing to put too much money in it. DC almost seems out of the running at this point.
They said they're not even going to put together a proposal because they're not giving any money. But in this situation, so $1.4 billion for Buffalo, the owner is putting in about $350 million, and the rest is coming from
public
revenues.
Yeah, there's the state pays for it, county pays for it.
Yeah, and then the NFL is helping out a little bit with a measly $200 million. Well, isn't that nice that the NFL's got $200 million laying around that they can just give a team for a stadium? But as far as it relates to Washington and the different areas, Maryland or Virginia, it's a little quiet right now, but that doesn't mean things aren't going on behind the scenes. I don't see a lot of states and legislatures that are going to be willing to tax their people to bring in Dan Snyder and Washington. It's going to be hard to sell that to your constituents or whatever, right? So I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know. Eventually, somebody's going to do it because they're going to have some deals that are going on behind the scenes. But that's not a lot of money for the owner for Buffalo. It's going to be like the opposite here. The owner is going to be expected to put up a lot of money, or else they're just not going to build a stadium for him.
And with you saying that, I got to plug my computer in really fast, guys. So I wasn't going to die. With you saying that, Stoner, damn, that just threw me off. I feel like, that really threw me off.
Do you think that they're going to need sponsorships? I mean, someone put in the chat Amazon Stadium. Do you think like they're going to have like wings where this one's sponsored by Amazon, FedEx has this, and because maybe they just one of the things that is unfortunate about these stadiums costing billions of dollars is they end up doing the season tickets are in a way where you buy the seat, and so you're paying $50,000 or more to own it, which kind of takes it out of the price range for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking at if they were going to be, at these stadiums?
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of money that's going to eventually come out of my pocket, your pocket, your pocket is going to be a lot of money. So get used to it. Somebody's going to be paying for it, and you're going to be paying for it at the liquor store and at the grocery store.
Yeah, that's
going to come out of your pocket, and you don't even half the time don't even realize it, just because it's a lot of different taxes that you're unaware of.
Caleb comment about and brands don't want to support them as long as he's here. Yeah, back to Stoner's comment. The only way I think we get a new stadium is if Dan Snyder sells a team. Nobody's going to want to put in money to support Dan Snyder on something brand new. So from time being, while he's still in office, quote unquote, just renovate FedEx Field. I mean, you did the field part itself, which was awesome and thankful, even though Ryan Fitzpatrick still got hurt on that field. But they did that. So upgrade. I mean, I know they added some tables and stuff, but just make the bathrooms better, get better staff, renovate that joint. You could make it a better place for the time being until you found a suitor and a place to move it. Because I saw another comment.
And they will.
Make it easier. Yeah, but
they will. They're going to build a new stadium, and they're going to get a deal eventually somewhere.
Will Dan Snyder be the owner of the team when that happens, 100%. Or will he sell it in order for that new stadium to be built?
No. This whole thing about Dan Snyder and people don't want to come here because of Dan Snyder and businesses don't want to deal with Dan. That's a bunch of horse crap.
Bro, but that means they would sponsor somebody who's been involved in a sexual misconduct allegation of over 120 victims. They want that on their record for sponsors?
Money, son. Money sells everything.
Anheuser-Busch got tons of money. They don't want us no more.
And somebody is going to come in and fill that void.
But not as big, maybe. But maybe not as big.
Okay, maybe not as big, but somebody will. Just like the stadium.
Anheuser-Busch is the sponsor of the NFL. So
somebody, but they're not in every stadium. They're in the majority of stadiums, but they're not.
But they sell a lot of beer in a lot of grocery stores for these games.
So will what?
But you bring a local brewery. You bring a local brewery in there to sponsor. That's not going to happen.
I'm not saying local. Miller Lite will probably step.
It's got to be a big one because I'm just saying, local won't be able to handle
Dan Snyder is a factor in every decision making for this organization. Right. Like on free agency, he plays a part. Maybe not the entire part, but he does play a part on this new stadium, free agency, coaching staff, front office. He plays a part. That's my whole point. Some people,
and yes, that's true.
Some people money will
always trump that. And I promise you, unless something comes out in this new investigation, let's not forget they are under investigation.
That's again. Yes.
But let's just say nothing comes of it. Just like the Wilkinson. Okay, if nothing comes of this particular investigation, Dan will get a new stadium. He will get a new sponsors everywhere, and everybody will be happy because everybody will be getting rich off of it, except for the three of us.
Watson, he came out clear, so he gets paid all the money. So
absolutely.
If Dan Snyder comes out clear, then we'll talk. If he is somehow cleared and whatever, then we can talk again. But until he's held accountable for something or the opposite, that dark cloud is here over us no matter what, guys. It just is, bro.
I agree with that.
Yes, money isn't really everything, Stoner.
Why hasn't the approximately 150 other brands that are attached to the Washington Commanders organization, why haven't they pulled out? Why hasn't
because they're waiting to find out from this report. They're waiting.
Miller Lite's still sending
those
public
those
pressure isn't there, because I guarantee you, if public pressure, if
Correct.
people put the pressure on, then yes, you'll see this removed.
Correct.
You saw it with the name change. The people put the pressure on the sponsorships. The sponsorships threatened to leave if they didn't change the name. Washington changed the name.
That's right.
Now you're seeing it, but you're not seeing the pressure necessarily being put on by the businesses. You see it put on. Stop. Share the report. Release the report rather as the hashtag. You have all this stuff going on. You had Congress try to get involved.
Yeah.
But there's still not. I mean, half that Congress roundtable. Half those people were sitting there and saying, this isn't something for us. You guys figure it out on your own. And there are people with that mindset. We had it earlier in the chat where people talked about it. It's his business. Let him run it the way he wants to run it. So there's just that mindset. And he, unfortunately, I agree. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's going to be a part of the organization, but I also agree once we're 2-3 years removed from this, people are going to just put money into it, especially if Washington starts to win and
yes.
If they're in more prime time games, then
winning
people are going to want
games.
Well, winning, yes, but to get to the prime time games, you really need to start winning and show promise. You get into there, you get into the playoffs. People are going to want to be a part of this, even if it means that they have to deal with the Dan Snyder thing. Now, that doesn't mean they can't change their mind and put pressure on, but it'll be something interesting. But
why do we always got
all
some?
The time.
We've beefing with Buffalo lately. Stadiums, players.
Yeah,
I thought we were so cool with Buffalo.
They did say that they were talking about sharing
a shared practice.
Shared practices and training
spring
camp.
break. Yeah, or it's not spring break, but training.
Until the JD McKissic thing happened, and now those talks have quieted down, so they might not. They will. These things will go away. And I love, by the way, I know it's not a subject that we're talking about. I love shared training camps when teams practice.
Oh yeah, those are good. Those are
absolutely
really,
need
really
to do that every year, because you've got to stop playing against the same guys. William Jackson and Terry McLaurin going up against each other every day. They start learning their moves and all that. So you have to play against other guys from other teams so that you can understand what other players are doing. So when you're facing the real fire, then
bro, they're not doing anything. They're not. Do you think they're sharing like joint training camps are for what? For what? What's the reason for that? Literally.
Like I said, so you can practice against somebody else.
It's an actual
against.
Yeah, but what if you don't even play them on like? I just don't.
It's like an extra preseason game. I mean, and it actually is very helpful, I think, in determining whether or not the players have value on your team.
They fight more in those camps than they learn anything from it. Let's be honest.
That's just our experience, unfortunately. That's just our one of the other things Buffalo has brought to the table is the recent game they had with Kansas City spurned on some overtime rule changes.
Yeah, I got a thought.
And says that the overtime rules should be influenced year round, not just in the postseason.
They shouldn't even be a thing, bro. Marcus Spears said it the best on NFL Live. This rule is based on emotions, feelings, and fairness. Well, here's the fairness. You put 11 guys on defense and 11 guys on offense. There's your fairness. If your defense can't stop the offense, your defense is bad. It needs some work. It shouldn't be, oh, well, they get to have the ball. We should get the ball too. No, you had 60 minutes to win this game. And now you think, since you're in overtime, which is quote unquote sudden death, you think you deserve to get another possession just because
pseudo sudden death. I'm glad that they moved off of sudden death. Okay. I used to love the sudden death rules, but kickers are able to make kicks from way further. You have Justin Tucker who can kick it from like the opposite 45, right? So now you're saying that they only had, obviously it's a long kick, but if it were still sudden death, you could potentially go 25 yards and and win the game. I'm so glad they moved away from that you have to score, a touchdown. I do agree that these new rules seem a little bit just don't
Stop
get too
crying, bro.
Don't get there. I'm going to give a shout out real quick to Metaphor using our super chat feature. We appreciate the support. He says Arians says he's unretiring in 40 days. He made the joke earlier as well. So, but we appreciate the support there. Of course, anybody who uses the super chat, we appreciate. We only mentioned it a couple times, but we do love the support for the channel. Stoner, what's your take on the overtime rules? Trev doesn't love it. I'm not a huge fan of it. Yeah. Do you like to see the both offenses take the field?
Yeah, I thought they bowed to like Twitter pressure after that
Josh
game.
Allen.
Saying
this
Josh
isn't
Allen
the first time that this was presented. So this isn't
but Josh Allen cried about it the most.
Yeah, I mean I thought the way it was fine, that you could not win it on a kick,
a field goal.
Yeah.
Right. But you could win it on a touchdown or a safety. I thought that was fine. If you can't stop them, you can't stop them.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All aspects of the game. Yeah. All aspects of the game.
It's not like it's a brand new thing that happens.
But what happens if, for example, let's play out the same situation. Kansas City goes down and they score. So, let's give Josh Allen another chance. He goes down and he scores. And then Kansas City goes down and they score again, right? Are you supposed to give Josh Allen another chance?
Exactly.
Because he got two chances. I only got one.
Bingo.
No, just keep it. I liked it the way it was. Yeah. But obviously there are 29 teams that said we want to change it. So, what do I know? I'm just saying.
I'm with that person. If you wanted everybody to get a possession, just do it the college way then. Just do it that way.
Start them at the 25
or the 30 even since it's the pros, or the 45. Make it more interesting.
Yeah.
But don't whatever.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't go there. I agree with Yam. You don't want the game to be determined by a coin toss, and they did show that the vast majority of teams were winning. Who win the coin toss would win those overtime. I think in 12 games, it was 7 out of the 12. So maybe not vast majority, but
no, I think it was like 12 out of 14. It was 12.
Was it 12? And then maybe it was 7 out of those 12 was a touchdown. Mm. And so they won off of a touchdown, which meant that the other team didn't have a chance. So I just, again, I don't necessarily think that it's necessary to have to bring it back to, for another team to have a chance. I mean, I would have loved to have seen more of that KC Buffalo game. I mean, that was a great game. And yes, I would have loved to have seen Buffalo try to go back and tie it. But they also had, people talk about the 13 seconds and they give that up. That was crazy. But then they also had that they could have stopped them. That was one of their things, was defense was good in Buffalo. Just play the entire game.
I do have a legit question that I don't know the answer to, and that is, what happens if after that fifth quarter and they're still tied in the playoffs? So what is it, sudden death again, or do they start back with the overtime rule again, or is it just go to another quarter?
My understanding behind this is Kansas. We'll just stick with Kansas City and Buffalo in this. Kansas City scores, they kick the extra point. Buffalo scores a touchdown. They're going to go for 2 for the win, or they're going to tie it again. But then that means Kansas City just needs a field goal, because it is after that time. It's just now it's sudden death. That's my understanding of the rule.
So that's what I'm saying. What if they go all the way to the end of the quarter? It's 15 minutes or it's 10 minutes, whatever it is. I don't know in overtime and playoffs, but they go to the end and it's still 37-37.
I was gonna say, what if it's a bunch of 4 and outs and like no first down and punts,
and nobody scores, or they both score the same amount of points, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess in playoffs you'd have to go again.
Yeah, you have to go again.
This rule is only for the playoffs too.
Right.
So
but what I'm saying is, do they start with the overtime rule again, to where both teams should get an opportunity to score, or is this just another continuation to where now you're in sudden death because you've both had an opportunity to score?
Or are you Justin Herbert just hoping for a tie at that point? Both teams advance in the playoffs.
Yeah, so
one of the reasons
I don't know that. So I was wondering.
Andre,
we'll never have to worry about it as a
2 half quarters. After that, if it's still a tie, sudden death. The reason why they don't do this, and the reason why they're not going to put this playoff overtime rule over the entirety of the season, is there's concern for player injury.
Yeah,
so that's the reason why. That's the reason why they're allowing the ties now, is because they don't need regular season games going into double and triple overtime. They just want to get those over, let the players make it to the playoffs, and then the playoffs are willing to at least risk a little bit more player injury, but they're not going to be willing to do an entire quarter or an entire half, because there's really, one, there's not a whole lot of money in a 6-7 hour game, and two,
I'm turning it off.
Player injuries are pretty bad here. So, you know what's not really bad? This show. It's pretty good. In fact, we stream live every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at 7:30, and then we put this out on audio platforms. So if you don't catch it, you want to catch it on a run because you got your new Pacers running shoes, you can go ahead and do that on your favorite audio platforms as well. And why don't you run down to Lexington, Virginia, where you can go see Trev in person at the Sky Bar. Yeah. He'll hook you up, maybe even name a drink after you. You just got to ask him, let him know that you're a Ref the District fan. We appreciate those in the chat, especially those who use the super chat feature. We appreciate all the support we receive. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel in this video.
Good night to everyone in the Final Four except Duke, Kansas, and Villanova.
And until next time,
what up?
Be a fan.
We love Washington, and we saw them die hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are Ref the District. Podcast. Come on now and join us. You join it.